Coming completely prepared for the darkness, this is Tell It to Someone. First question is from Charlotte Swallows. How many clownfish can you fit in a tank? Well, if you don't worry about them, being dead, you can pack the whole thing out completely and just keep on piling them in there. In one of your Abrams tanks, for example, you can fit 8.3 metric tons of clownfish. If you want them to survive, then you might want to crew them with actual people, though, because in the middle of battle, a clownfish won't actually do very much at all, because they require an aqueous environment, an oxygenated aqueous environment. So I wouldn't suggest it. Crew your tanks with humans, or make them drone tanks. But that's only for the 21st century. Don't crew 20th century tanks with drone technology, because it won't work, because they weren't really all that good back then. Next question is from Empirical Mind. My cat has more than a passing resemblance to Adolf Hitler. Should I risk a jail sentence by making a video of him, as I reside in the UK, where joke videos can now see you prosecuted for being grossly offensive? Well, okay, so you've got that dog which saluted like Hitler. I'm not going to do that here and now, because, I don't want to be looking like a Nazi at all. So, the key difference here between cats and dogs is cats are normally evil and don't have to be trained to be evil. I mean, my cat just yesterday saw the backyard cat who hangs around the backyard and chased him up the tallest tree. Somebody who isn't evil doesn't do that much. Well, the backyard cat is kind of evil, so maybe there was a little bit of evil from each. But either way, you are corrupting a dog if you teach it to be Nazi, but you're not corrupting a cat by teaching it to be Nazi, because they're kind of evil anyway. Ducks are chaotic neutral. Next question is from Will McAlpine. Is it just me, or did you shave your mustache? I've still got my mustache here. I had it trimmed. The person who trimmed it said that they were the mustache person who does Australian cricketers like Merv Hughes. And I thought, well, Australian cricketer mustache, and no, she almost shaved it off. Don't trust the hairdresser who says that they do cricketer mustaches. I mean, it's growing back. It's just growing back a bit. I went down 2 ranks. Next question is from Matt Yabs. Were the ancients of Moo truly justified, and or what is that what they want us to think? Moo, well, that's that Hawaiian thing, or is it all abound for Moo? I don't know. I've really got to do my research for these things. I'm out in the park now and I don't have any access to Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is over there and it doesn't go all the way over here. So I can't tell you. I'm sorry. Joe Freddy asks, are you happy now that you have gone and done IT? I didn't do IT. I did communications, which has only got a bit of IT in it, so I can do some coding, some HTTP and some of that, but not full IT. I wouldn't know how to run a server or anything. So no, I'm not happy. And Charlene Swallows asks another question. How many merchants does it take to fleece a corpse? Well, most corpses are not self-fleecing these days, so I assume you'd take 1 merchant per corpse. But of course, if you're meaning fleecing as in not shearing it of fleece, but actually taking everything out of their bank account and putting it in their own pockets. I'd say just one each, and there's a lot of dead people, so they're going to get very rich. But that's okay, because dead people are dead and they don't need money, except for when the financial advisor says they do need money, and then they, give them financial advice, which is try not eating, because if you eat, then you're spending money on food, and if you're spending money on food, you can't spend money on financial advice. So if you're talking about that scandal where the financial advisors were charging people for financial advice even though they were dead, then that's my advice there. Anakin Vatad asks the last question for today. I like the Australian word bogan. I want to import it into the Canadian lexicon in the same way the expression "no worries" has crossed the Pacific to Canada in the last decade or so. Well, you didn't ask it in question form, but I'm going to answer it anyway, because I've got... I don't know why. I just need to add some, some thing into the... I need to answer questions, because otherwise this video would be very, very short. It would be me asking for questions, basically. So, your bogan, if you don't already know, is a kind of low status person. There is no real equivalent in America. There are hood rats and rednecks, but they're not quite compatible. The only real compatible person is a chav, a British chav, and I don't know whether that translates to Canada either. But there's a sort of demeanour, a sort of costume that they normally have. The blue t-shirts with the if you've got a job, there's a cigarette packet sticking out of the sticking in the sleeve, and if you don't have a job, that cigarette packet actually has branding, because they've actually bought it at one of those places that illegally imports foreign cigarettes. So it's got Indonesian branding on it or something, and they normally have a kind of an accent that is unique to the bogan people, and it's very difficult to describe this accent. So what I thought I'd do while the questions were being answered is I thought I would, as it's getting dark, quote Shakespeare in that accent. Here it is. Look in thy glass, and tell thou face thou viewest. Now is the time that face should form another, whose fish repair is now thou not renewest. Thou dost beguile the world, unblessed mother. For where is she is so fair, whose uneared womb disdains the tillage of my husbandry? Or thou is he so fond will be the tomb of his self-love to stop posterity? Thou art thy mother's glass, and she in thee calls back the lovely April of her prime. So thou the windows of thine age shalt see, despite the wrinkles of thy golden time. If thou live, remember not to be, die single, and thine image dies with thee. And that's it for Tell Someone for this week. If you would like to ask me a question, then the question asking place is down in the place underneath the video watching place, which is this bit. And down there is where the questions get asked. Or you can answer this dovetail question. Yes, that's right. That's, I can actually kind of quote it, paraquote it, at least. It might not be the exact phrasing, but what would be the Canadian version of bogan or chav? Bogan, probably. What is the Canadian term equivalent to bogan? That's good. That's good. Well, it's dark now, I'm dangerously talented, and I don't have a cool sign-off.